Wow, what a nice day. Hear the birds? Those are grackles. Males. They're establishing territory right now. Yeah. Beautiful out. Here I am digging a hole, and there comes my buddy. Hey, buddy. What are you doing? Yeah? Oh, he's always coming by. We're digging a hole here by my sump pump, or no, my septic tank. Got some issues with it, so I gotta fix it. So here's what we're doing. Digging a hole here. And actually, what I plan on doing is something very unique. You never hear, anyways. I'm gonna tell it quick because I don't want to make it a long thing, but methane digester. Man, those are cool things. So I'm gonna put a methane digester here. Okay, sorry, there, a methane digester, and then here in front of my valve where my septic is coming through. My septic tank is there, and I just discovered the tile is all broken. I pulled out the pieces. And there's one. So it was a non-functioning septic bed anyways. So I'm gonna fix that line. I don't know how yet, but I'll fix it. It doesn't matter right now, because what I'll do is I'm gonna drop a round barrel where I'm standing here in front of the tank, right? So that tank will drop into this barrel, and then actually gonna put another barrel there, and it's gonna drop into a secondary barrel. Always put elbows on your stuff, right? So you don't have solids moving from one barrel to the other. I mean, a little bit's okay. And then in there is where the methane digester goes. So I'll have a feed line to it. I'll have a feed hose going to the methane digester. And then what you do with the methane digester, I mean, depending on what's feeding into it, you basically have this sort of, you put your refuge in there, and then if the temperature's right, yeah, it needs to be warm. So I don't know if under the ground will work, but if I can warm the tank, I could do that. I could just leave it open and expose a serious amount of sun to it and paint everything black on it. You know what I mean? That would heat enough inside to start producing methane, really. And see, this one I'm going to put a big steel, round, heavy one in there, and then I'm going to put a barrel that fits inside of it, so it can float. Once the liquids fill up, it can float, because there'll be an air mass inside, and I'll put a airline hose to the center, right, to release whatever build up, because that'll build up in gas, and that'll raise the plastic one up, right? And then I can open the valve and release that air. It'll be under pressure, and maybe store it in a tank. I mean, it's gonna be low pressure. I almost need something to suck the air and push it into a tank, but I don't have that technology of stuff. I'm gonna do it other ways. All right. So that's what I'm doing. I'm freaking pumped about this. I'm so pumped about this. Digging, have a hoot. And here I got another trench here. This is I gotta lay wire and plumbing and for a lady who's moving in here. So I'm setting her up for some good living. Yeah, you know. Wow, such a beautiful day. Now I'm gonna get on my machine here. Now, I've been renting this thing now for a week, and then the Corona thing came and made things difficult to get supplies and gravel, and because Dufferin wasn't sending regular loads, only committed loads, because I was a citizen that had to remain quarantined. So also I didn't have a visa card, because you couldn't do any transactions. Like, they won't let you in any stores, so you have to have a Visa card. Yeah, that's what they're doing. See, because I got cash. I got cash on me. You can tell the guy, look, I'll leave it under the door, right? Because I rented this machine, and you know, he wanted the Visa, and I gave him my Visa card, but it was a Visa debit. And I just found out the Visa debits don't work over the phone because I don't have a real Visa card. So, you know, I said, look, I'll come down to your place and I'll just pay by debit. Well, you know what he says? He says, well, can't do that. Can't allow anyone in the store. And I feel like, okay, can I pass it under the door, right? I'm not going in, right? He won't even do that. Maybe because he doesn't want to touch the card just in case there was coronavirus on it or something. So maybe I can just slide the cash under the door, right? But no, even that's no good. So I actually had to call a friend to pay my bill with his Visa card, a real Visa card, and then e-transfer him the amount. Isn't this just crazy? I don't know if I like that. Like the way things going with that stuff, right? Like, seriously, I just want to have a whole bunch of coins, real silver coins, hey, gold coins. I mean, don't you just want to handle that stuff? You know, you think about the days when they had like a little pouch and they had all their coins in it, a little silver, and they might have had like a tiny little quarter ounce of gold coin there, right? I mean, gold back then was like quite cheap. I mean, like maybe $20, $25 an ounce, something like that. Like I'm talking 200 years ago. And so when a guy had like a little quarter ounce of a gold coin, that was like a big savings he was carrying in his pouch. You know, think about that. Hey, you know, he acquired it somehow. Maybe he got it from his master that he was working for a while. And he gave him a nice, you know, well, for all his labors he did in that summer. He said, "Well, I give you this coin." You know, and so he'd be traveling around with his little quarter ounce gold coin, I guess worth $8 or $9, right? Which would be a lot then, because it'd be like us having $1,000 in that little tiny coin, right? And then he's got all these other silver coins, you know, which are worth a lot less, but he's got them because he's got to buy things and do things. So they got all these coins, right? And maybe were they making notes back? I mean, it depends on when we're talking. You know, notes came in later. You know, like a legal tender. It's written on a note, eh? Legal tender. I mean, think about that. Legal. What's legal? Legal is like when you sign a contract. That's a legal thing. Or when you make an arrangement with someone and you shake hands, like that is a legal idea, okay? So what that legal tender means, I don't know. I still don't know what it means. It really is not gold coins or silver at all. It's a note. It's like, that's right, it's a promissory note to replace it for gold or silver, right? So it becomes a legal tender to say, like, there's some gold and silver somewhere behind it to support its existence, right? Yeah, that's what it is. So frig, imagine that. Like the guys who are making the notes, you guarantee you they're making a crap lot more of those notes than they have real tangible silver and gold to hold behind it, right? Right? So that's why they put the money to notes, right? So the guy making the notes, like the printing press, no one's counting. No one's checking his books. Definitely not. I mean, I even heard that Ron Paul went in there. Remember how he went in to edit the Fed? No, not edit the Fed, but I mean, when you go in there and pick at it, what's that word? I got a brain fart. Forget it. But anyways, he went there a few 6-7 years ago, and he actually got access to not edit the Fed, but the other thing. We'll call it edit the Fed. And oh yeah, they gave him all kinds of paperwork and crap. Oh yeah, it just looked like they were running a peachy king business. I mean, I'm sure they withheld a trillion documents that you couldn't get access to, right? So really, man, we really are being hoodwinked. You know that? I'm not kidding you. You tell them, look, you tell them you just want gold and silver now, okay? You see what they do then, right? You tell them, fuck this paper shit. You want real gold and silver. They won't give it to you. Like, what the fuck? And say, whatever. Say, look, I'll pay, like, you want to charge $1,600 an ounce for the gold? Fuck, put all my money into buying whatever ounces of gold that'll get me. Oh, yeah, they'll do it for you, maybe. And they're going to hold you out like the COMEX. They're holding out on paying any gold right now, right? Because they don't have it. They're not even minting any gold coins, silver coins right now at all. Holy smokes, man. Look, if you really want to be at the head of the curve, if you really want to be smart, you got to do what I did. I did buy gold and silver. I've got it stored away in a very secret spot. You'll never find it, so don't try. I did that about 10 years ago when I got some money in my hands. And I bought $800 worth of silver. And I bought, well, I shouldn't be sharing this with you, but I bought 1/4 ounce coin of gold. Okay? Paid a lot for it, really. I mean, I think I paid at the time it was $1,400 an ounce. And a quarter of that would have been, I don't know, what's a quarter of that? I know it's easy math. 8? No. 4? Because I don't want to think that, but so it's 400 plus all their fees and everything. I paid maybe $660 for a little quarter ounce, 400 really worth. But I don't care because I got it, right? It doesn't matter. And I got silver. I bought these 10-ounce rounds. Did all this through the Scotiabank 10 years ago. So I have my gold. Oh, and I bought coins too, like little 1-ounce coins. They're not worth much. Like I don't know what. I paid 14 an ounce at the time. So really, I don't have that much that I bought in savings, hidden away hard, right? Never known. You would never find it. Guarantee you, man. I'm really good at hiding my shit. But anyways, when I need to get it, it's there. And trust me, man, it's going to be soon that we're going to need our own gold and silver coins. Very soon. Right? Like it's already happening. Anyways, I got totally off track here. Talking about that and the money thing. And that guy wouldn't take my money because I didn't have a visa. So the lesson learned is get a Visa card or know someone who has a real Visa card. That is what I learned today, okay? Because if you don't have one, sometimes you can't really buy anything. Not that you need to buy anything. There's very few things I ever buy. Like, for example, the only things I actually buy once a week is coffee and cream. Because that's the only thing I can't make. I make everything else. I I do. You know, I make my own maple syrup. I have a guy who does the honey, and he gives me a big monster-sized pail every year. So there's my honey. I had a goat. I gotta go get it. I gotta go get my goat. Man, it's a Lamont. No, it's a Toggenburg goat. Great milk goat. And I would like go it every morning with a liter mason jar and just fill it with the milk and drink it warm, man. Holy, it's so good for you. So anyways, I'm obsessed. I will not eat anything if it's not heavily organic. That's for sure. And I won't eat anything if it's not organic. And I won't eat crappy stuff like sugar. You should never touch sugar. You should never put your hands on sugar. You should never go near sugar. You should stay. Sugar is a poison. It is a poison. I'm not kidding you. It's a poison. It is a poison. I remember like 20 years ago, I would tell Caden, I would say, Caden, I made him memorize this. I mean, what dad makes your son memorize something like this? This is what I made him memorize, okay? I would go, hey, Caden, where does, oh gosh, I'm almost forgetting, aspartame. Yeah. Hey, Caden, where does aspartame come from? And of course, I made him memorize the answer, okay? Okay? He goes, yeah, Dad, it comes from genetically modified E. coli bacteria, and you feed it a toxic waste compound of some type, and its excrement is aspartame. And I go, correct. That's good, kid. You remember, man. And he did. Did he have to add anything to that? No, that's pretty accurate. Yeah. See, that was a slip up way in the early 90s. An article came out about how they were making aspartame. And that actually came out. It wasn't meant to come out. And I read it. Holy shit, I couldn't believe it. So that's why aspartame has changed its name to spearmitane. Sounds so yummy, doesn't it? So go out and get your spearmitane. Fuck, stupid people, eh? They just swallow this stuff up. Like, man, like I could go on and on. For some reason, I encounter things like this, okay? Here's another story. Not related to aspartame. Ah, my hand's getting cold. I don't know if I have enough power left. I'm running out of battery, so I better speed this up. Wow, what a weird thing, okay? I responded to an ad for a free sofa in Burlington. I went there with my pickup truck to get the sofa in a really interesting place in Burlington, right behind the graveyard, but in a beautiful house, like incredibly beautiful house. When I got there was this lady. She worked in holistic medicine and stuff like that, and she was helping manage this old lady who was like in her late 80s, manage her stuff because her husband had just died, okay? And he was a general in the British Army, okay? A general. Listen to this story. Holy God, I can't believe it. Anyways, a holistic lady tells me when I'm going to get this free sofa that the man who dies as general was this very important general in this army in England, and he came here to introduce GMO alfalfa to the area. So he's dead now. He just died. This lady is kind of like a little dementia. She said, take the sofa. It was free. And all these boxes. She says, whatever I wanted to take, I'd take it. So I did. I took all these other boxes of stuff that they were getting rid of. I mean, his personal stuff. Really personal stuff. And I found a lot of gold in it. I did. Real gold. shouldn't say that because now I'll have to give it back, right? Frig. Anyways, pretend I didn't find any gold in these boxes. Anyways, this guy was here to introduce GMO alfalfa to this country, to this region, to the Burlington area, to our farmers here. That was his number one job, a general. That's why we have a lot to fear here looking forward into the future, I'm telling you. So the holistic nurse, she's telling me, or lady, she's telling me about all this stuff. I couldn't believe it. And the fact that me and her run into each other and that she's saying she can't even practice her holistic medicine because pharma is like on her back all the time about all her medications and treatments and everything, and it's not appropriate. And God, we're under so much control by those bastards. Come on, you people. Join together and like make us strong, right? We can't do it alone. You think I'm doing this alone? I am. Completely alone. And I don't give a shit because no one gives a shit. No one gives a fucking shit. You know that? It's all got some fucking money tag behind it. I don't want to hear shit about any... Getting total off track here. So I grab the sofa and these boxes and all this stuff, and I take it in my truck, and I get home and everything, and I go through all this stuff, and it's amazing. They gave him this really nice clock with his name on it, a plaque on how his achievements of some corporate thing, it was on there. It's cool. And his name, so now I know his name. Hope I still got that clock. I hate that clock because it was his. I hate what he did. He did a terrible thing to my region. He's polluted the soil. He's killed all the microorganisms everywhere around in Ontario. Nothing can grow in that fucking stench soil after it's got GMO alfalfa in it, you know. That stuff changes your DNA, you know. When you eat it, when cows eat it, or horses eat it, it changes their DNA, right? It's a monster creation. Like our maker friggin' made us, right? He made us, and he made us perfect. Look at us, we're perfect. I mean, whether we act perfectly in our perfect made form that our maker made us, like our creator made us, he is our maker. I do believe we have a maker, because we didn't just like zap here in one sec, did we? My phone's gonna run out any minute now, okay? I'm knowing. The battery's gonna go, and I don't know when this video's gonna end. But I'm gonna keep talking. What was the maker? Oh yeah. So as far as the maker, I got this concept, okay? Man, I'm way off track. I act as if God exists, and I fear that he doesn't, okay? Meaning that, like, if God exists, it's great, right? Act as if God exists. But if he doesn't, fear that he doesn't. Because then what else is going on, right? So I believe in the maker. I believe in the creator. Just waving to the neighbor. I believe in the maker. I believe in a creator. And I know right now he's really happy with me. You know why? Because just the other day, he's called me Maker Junior. You know why? Because when he made us, oh my God, I'm gonna walk to the house because I'm gonna run out of battery and I gotta fill it up. But when he made us perfect, right? And he did make us. Like, don't deny the maker. And if he's God, that's fine. He's God, okay? I believe you. That maker's God. And that's what you want to believe. Go to church. Put your money in the plates. Right? Because that God needs money. You can never figure that shit out. Why do you put money in the plates? God's laughing at you when you do that, you know? He can make all the money he wants. He can go poof, 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 poof. Put 10 trillion in his hands. He doesn't need your fucking money, man. Don't give it to those fucking popes. Fuck them. Excuse my language. It's not a good thing to swear. Anyways, let's get to the power cord. Am I still recording? Oh, good. Everything's fine, I think. See, I keep getting heavy in my concepts sometimes. I think a lot about things, man. You know, I really do. I enjoy doing things because I think about it. I think about my process of doing it. Like this thing I'm doing right now, this septic thing. Like I'll start digging and digging, so happy knowing exactly what I'm doing. Then I'll stop and I'll go, wait a minute. I can't put the tank in front of the line away. It should be off to the side. So like constantly, like so then I'm stuck in this, I gotta think about it. So I stop the work. I stop it, usually sit down here, and then I think about it. I actually build the whole process in my head over and over again. I do. I visually lay it out, tank there, this, that. I do it over and over again, rehearsing the whole thing, like, and then I, like I'm literally doing it there, but I'm doing it in my head, and I create it and I build it and I turn it on, get it going, see how it works, see if it flows, see the problems before I actually have the problems. Like I can see it if I build it. I just relive it. And if I find I'm in a bit of a rut on something, you always sleep on it. And I swear, you wake up in the morning like powerful. You'd be like going, yeah, there it is. I mean, it happened to me this morning. About what? I have no idea, because it happens to me every morning, actually. Every time I can't figure out something, I sleep on it. And the answer comes to you in the morning. Because, you know why? Because the maker realizes that you're being patient, right? I gotta take off something. You're being patient. Because it is about patience, you know that? It's about a lot of patience. Because if you have patience in it, and patience in yourself, you will like completely move through it, no problem. But you gotta be patient, right? You know, don't be like, oh, I'm gonna get it done, let's do this one, forget that. Oh, I'm thinking about this tank again, what a stupid idea, am I just a fucking idiot? You know, like what, quit attacking yourself. Like just trust yourself. I mean, I don't wanna use the word trust, because it has nothing to do with trust. Because you can trust your neighbor, you can trust in God, trust. I'm not sure about the word trust. But it's about patience. Have patience in yourself. Because you actually have the answer, always. You do, every time. I've always found that I actually have the answer. Sometimes you don't want to hear the answer, right? Sometimes you don't want to believe in the answer. Sometimes the answer involves a lot of work, and you don't want to do it because it's a lot of work. Don't let that get in the way of things. Like, I'm always coming up with answers that involve a lot of work. So when that happens, okay, what I do is I really think about it and think about all the stages, so that when I actually do it, I can do it super quick. And I can give you an example of that. Okay? I can give you a good example of that, okay? If I got enough power, let me just check. Hang on. Oh, I don't know. Anyways, here we go. I'm going to end this video really soon, because this is getting super long now. But excuse me. So, I'm in my pig room here. This is where I'm going to keep my potbelly pig, in this little, it used to be my pigeon coop. So I had to build a door going outside. And I thought about this door. I thought about this for years. But I don't do it unless it absolutely makes sense. And unless I actually plan out every little part of it. Well, there's some of it. Right? Unless I plan out every part of it. Right? So I did. So this one, I've been thinking about putting an entrance door here. Okay? Right here. And I didn't know how big or how tall to make it. So I measured the pig, and it's this big, right? But it's going to grow, so it's got to be at least this high. right? So the pig's going to grow. So I thought about where I wanted the door. And for the longest time, I didn't do anything. And then I figured it out yesterday, right? I finally figured it out because I went and looked for, I know what it is. I went and looked for the door because I have to find the door first. So I found this door in my store. And I got a massive store. Holy, I love my store. So I went and got this door. And actually, there's another 4 of those doors, right? And I brought the door over here, and I cut a hole real quick. Right? Here's my door. There's my feet going out. And I cut it real quick because this one had to be a creation made in... this was one of those 8-minute creations, okay? I did this in 8 minutes. Everything. Cutting a hole, taking the piece off. So what I did is I first carefully... Can you see this? I carefully took this panel piece out. I guess you can't see much of it. Panel piece out. There's the panel. Well, I'll put it outside. There's not much light. Here's the panel I cut out. That came out quick. Took the insulation out. Saw access. Drilled a pilot hole here above the point that I wanted to be. Because I didn't care if that went all the way through. A little extra ventilation maybe. And then I referenced it outside. Drilled my side holes here real quick. Went outside with the Sawzall. Snap, zip, cut all that out quick. Nice job. Tapered these so the pig wouldn't hurt itself. I'll sand it later, don't care. Quickly hung the door. Not worried about it yet because I don't want to spend any time on it. Door's on. And there we go. Pig hole. Pig hole.